Good evening, everyone. This is the District 31 Getting Started with Free Toast host, and tonight I am your host, Christine Lewis, also Program Quality Director, and tonight's session is really just getting started. It's not going to tell you every detail about how to set up Free Toast host, but for those clubs out there that would like to start one or would like to know the basics of managing one, this is probably a great webinar for you. So let's get started. Here I am again. So first of all, let's talk about why do clubs want a website? Well, a couple of things, and we'll go through those in a slide a little bit later. We'll talk about the benefits of Free Toast Host, who manages that club website, what it takes to initiate a new Free Toast Host site, what it's like to set up the basics, and some other website options. So first of all, communication with your members is key with the way these websites are set up. The Free Toast Host developers and support staff have worked really hard to make it work with pathways, with traditional program, and they continue to develop it, so it's really great. Meeting organization. It gives you a way to organize the meetings. You can send out the agenda and request people to sign up for agenda items. Members can self-serve themselves by signing up for agenda items and speeches. You can manage club business and activities. The treasurer would be able to send out a dues reminder. The management of membership every year, you can send out some surveys or manage mentor assignments. It also helps new prospects find you. Well, Toastmasters International does have Find a Club. Without a proper website, Find a Club will get you the contact information most likely for your president. It doesn't get you any further than that. By having some kind of a website, someplace you can advertise your club and give it a face, is a place, you know, that could draw some new prospects in. They might see something they really like. And that, again, lends itself to your marketing. You can use your website as marketing. Maybe you have an open house coming up or some kind of a speech craft coming up. You could advertise that on the front page of your website. It also provides an area where you can do social media connections. I know of a couple clubs, and I might show a couple tonight, that like to connect YouTube to their club website because their members like to record themselves. So we'll have a look at that as well. Again, I mentioned self-serve, agenda signups. They can also manage their own profiles. There's a place in there where members can choose to, have a brief introduction about themselves. They could upload a picture if they like. I'll say this for officers. If officers choose to do this with their profiles and share them publicly, it gives the website and it gives the club a little bit more of a personable feel. And it also tells you a little bit about the club, and prospects might be able to connect with one or two people that decide to share their profiles publicly. So that's just a thought in the future. Again, I remind you, it gives a club a face. It's fun to go out and explore Free Toast Hosts around the world and see what clubs have done with their sites. The ease of transition to new officers. This is an aspect that I've found is pretty easy with Free Toast Host. As you transition to new officers in the coming year, trying to ramp them up to their basic duties and to management of the website, could be daunting, but Free Toast Host provides so much detail and so much explanation about how to do each thing inside this website. It's really easy to transition it. And the Free Toast Host team, again, fabulous about support and helping you out, and they're always developing. Now, who manages this club website? Well, it's really up to the club. Most commonly, you'll find that the VP of Public Relations, often the first choice. It's because they're the ones that might put on the best face for this. But you might have somebody in the club that's just naturally good with technology or with websites, and they could become the other officer that's your website manager. And you can see how to assign that inside this website. And again, any officer that's comfortable with technology. And I say technology, I don't say website for a reason. Because you don't need to know how to build a website to manage a Free Toast Host website or even build up the very basics. It's actually pretty easy. It's a framework that's pre-built for you, and you really just configuring it. And again, the club should get together and talk about who's going to manage it. Who's going to manage the build portion. There's a reason why I call it the build portion, and who's going to handle the long-term management of the website. All officers have administrative access within their role to manage aspects of their job within the website. And we may have a look at that in a little bit. So what does it take to initiate a free Toast Host website? It's actually not particularly hard, but there are some very important things that really need to be taken care of ahead of time. And because we've gotten stuck on a couple. So first of all, you want to go into Toastmasters International as a club officer. You want to make sure that your club officer information and your contact information is up to date. And your club is fully chartered and you have a number, okay? The president of the club must approve the request for the website creation via email. So they're involved in this. They need to know what's happening, and they actually need to go into that email and approve it, okay? But it is very easy to get started, and we're going to have a look at that right now. So, let's have a quick look. So this is how you check and see if everything's up to date. I'm going to take a quick run through what this looks like. So first of all, you go to Leadership Central. You've got to log in. Go to your Club Central. Go to your club administration, and you're going to go into your club officer assignments and see who is assigned for your president. This is my corporate club, and we've got Alex in as president, and you can see that her term dates are for the current year. But this doesn't tell me if her contact information is up to date. I've now got to go into the club roster and look up Alex, and I see that she's got our corporation listed, and I also see that she's got her current email address, which is great. This is exactly what we want to see, okay? And now the basics. Make sure you will have handy your club name and number. You may want to talk with the club officers about how you want to name the website as well. You're going to be setting up the meeting location and time, adding members, assigning officer roles, creating an agenda, inviting members to the site. And at the very end, when you've actually built out, you've got your agendas prepared, you've got all your members and officers in, and you're really ready to make it public, you can go out to Toastmasters International and go to the club contact and meeting information page and actually add your website when it's finalized. And that'll be another way that prospects will be able to find you. Now, actually, I'm going to jump over to some actual websites so that you can have a look and see what this looks like. Let's go. So first of all, I'll move this over. Excuse me for 1 second. Okay, we're back. Now, so when it's time to request a website, you're going to go to this toastmastersclub.org welcome page. I'll provide these at the end of our presentation. And Free Toast Host explains exactly how to request a website. And they also provide a lot of information about how many they've got. They're all over the world. It's really great. This is super simple. So I do recommend that whomever is going to do the request and actually build it out, first set up an admin account with the Free Toast Host support group, because that will give you direct access to the support group if you need it. And once you're set up there, it'll work great. It'll help you out. So this is where you do the request. Super simple. You're going to enter your club number. You're going to enter your name. You will become the administrator, your email address, and enter it again. And then when you submit this, a request, and it could be very quick, or it could take 24 hours, will go to Free Toast Host. They will validate the club. They will request the approval from the president. And once that's done, the information will be sent back and say it's ready to get started. Okay, so that's the basics of actually doing the request. Now, once you initiate a request, you could start exploring some things that Free Toast Host has to show you. So they have actually prepared a demo website. So here we are on the demo website, and they've actually prepared a whole Free Toast Host site that's just got demo information about generally what it'll look like, from your experience. And again, they let you do another request here, but it's all of the framework they're all basically set up the same, but they don't all have to look the same, because once you get inside, the framework, it lets you change colors, it lets you change menu configurations, and you can add custom pages. And I actually have saved off a couple of websites that I've helped other clubs build out, so you can see some differences in those. So yeah, so this would be the base framework for your site. Now, what's nice about this demo page, they also give you some examples. So, for example, what would the member access look like? So we're clicking on that now. What the member access looks like on this website. And basically, this is what it would look like to the member. Not very different than what we were just looking at. Now, further down, they're showing an example of the agenda. So if you've never been on a Fritosos website, you wouldn't be familiar with this agenda. So I'm going to lay this out. So what it does is you can schedule agendas, for the next year, and you can configure them so that your members can sign up. For example, Bo signed up to be Toastmaster, and in this club, they've configured the agenda to include pictures, which is quite nice. It takes up a little space, but I think it's good when you're getting familiar with your club. Some clubs also choose to provide information inside the agenda item to maybe explain the role to someone that might be taking it, or just to provide some guidance or expectations. And then you can sign up as a speaker. I may do a little live on this so you can see how the drop downs for pathways work. Table topics, so all the roles can be signed up for. Here's an example of signing up for a speech. Okay. And then you can send the meeting agenda. You can send a custom message. I find myself, I'm often sending out the agenda, hopefully a week ahead of time, to my membership and saying, hey guys, there's lots of opportunities here. Who's getting ready to do their next icebreaker? So this allows you to send a custom message. You can send it to all club members or just the Toastmaster, the Vice President of Education. Super simple. You don't need to know what everybody's email address is or anything. Mentor-mentee request form. So VP of membership can assign, or the member can request. This is quite a good feature. This is, as I suggested earlier, a place to edit your profile, and you can choose to make it public or not. Absolutely your choice. Okay, and here's an example of what it would look like. So there's a little bit of basic about the demo site. Now, we're going to take a quick look at what the administrator access looks like. Okay, because if you're an administrator, you'll be spending some time here. All right, so site administration. So first of all, when you are the site administrator, you need to log in as a site administrator. And you'll set that up in the beginning. And there'll be an option over here to log in as site administrator. And you want to keep that password and ID within the officers because it does have access to change your whole website. Okay. Site administration, there's lots. So here's the administrator information. Set your password and don't change this. If you change this administrator, you need to make sure you keep track of it. Recovering the website, you're going to have to check in with support, but that's something you don't generally change very often once you've got it set. So membership management. Maybe we'll go through a live demo on that one because I really like that one. And I want to show you some of the easy stuff in there. So I think we'll take a walk through the administrator access in just a second. So first of all, let me show you a couple of websites that we've built out. So I'm going to show you my corporate site first. So this is the Electric Insurance Toastmasters. And note that we got some feedback from a prospect that she didn't realize we were a closed club. So we've actually accentuated that on the front of our page. And we advertise this internally. Now, a lot of clubs think that they don't want to do a Fritosos website because they want to keep it private to the corporation. And that's perfectly fine. But we like to advertise that we have a club. You can't see any details about what we do in the club. We do keep most of that private, but you can at least see that we have a corporate club and that we're active, which I think is really great. Now, up here, if you're an administrator, some advice I'm going to give you is when you're designing your website, include your club number in this bar because it makes it easier for you to log in as administrator, and we'll have a look at that in a little bit. I've chosen to add a lot to our front page because we were trying to help other clubs get ramped up on pathways. So we created some custom pages, pathways, testimonials, frequently asked questions, getting started, things like that. But there are some standard pages that come automatically with this, like meeting information and contact us. So let's have a look at what our meeting information page looks like for the corporate site. Go slow. So basically, we have put ourselves on the map, but we also state that we're membership for on-site only. People can request to come in for a visit, but we have security, so we have to do that. But at least people know where we are. How's that? And we'll look at other clubs that do have an open club, and you'll see how those look like. So contact us page, you preset this behind the scenes so that when a prospect or a guest enters this information, it'll go to the president or whoever else you've listed to be the contact us person. Okay. And then club calendar, nice place where members can go see what's going on. See. So you can see we actually had a lunch out, and then we have our regular meeting coming up on the 23rd. We have some membership guidelines we like to put up front, and that's about it. So this is our face for our corporate club. I'm going to go back home and have a quick look at that. Okay. Now, when our members want to log in, basically all they do is they click here and do member login. Okay, I guess I can show you how that works pretty quick. So I'll start to type my name, and the database actually finds me. So I'm going to click on my name, and then I just type in my password, and I'm in. And that's it, basically. So pretty easy. So now I'm going to jump over to a community club site. This is not one I designed. This is a club I belong to right now. This is the Speakeasier Club of Middleton. And they've kept predominantly with the basics for the main menu. Okay, you can see how those look. Those come with it. You can turn them on, turn them off in the configuration portion. I like that the club, put a picture of them on the page. It makes it personal. And then in their configuration, notice that their members only tab is below instead of aside like the electric insurance ones. It is simply a visible configuration difference. Okay. And now I'm going to go, so Quanah Powit is a club located in Quincy, and they were, you can see by their number, 849, they're a club that's been around for a really long time, but they didn't have a website. So a couple of years ago, I helped them build out this website. This club loves YouTube, and you can see that they've created a media link to YouTube because they do a lot of recordings of their members. And this is another way you can actually put recordings on the front of your website. You can make them loop or you can make them clickable, entirely up to you. You'll also notice that they've put a link to District 31, which I think is a great idea because then you can stay active in keeping up with what's going on at the district. They've also included a couple of custom pages, one quote of the day, one word a day. This helps to inspire members to take those on and try those out. And now I'm going to move over to Advanced Articulators. This is my advanced club, and there's something unique about this website that I wanted to show you. This particular club requires pre-registration for the guests. So in this website, we've been able to build in, pretty simply actually, a place where they can click and pre-register. And when they pre-register, that information goes to the person on site at that location to actually pre-register them with the security there. So again, there's, this is what's called a floater message on this club's website. And again, they have the freedom to configure that for it to say what they want it to say, or this one has a little program behind it to help with the pre-registration. But just another example of another style of website. All right, so let's jump over. I'm going to jump back over to Toastmasters, to electric insurance. And I will actually log in as the site admin so I can show you a few more things. Okay, I've got some presets on the login. You can see that. So you enter the club number when you're admin and the password for the admin. Okay. Just a minute to get logged in. Okay. So now that I'm logged in as the admin, it doesn't really look different, does it? Oh, except we've got a few messages. So this is actually good that this came up. I hope you can see these in the share. Sometimes they come through. This is a pop-up right now. So there's a pop-up in my screen that was from the Free Toast Host support team because they've made some changes. So they're really good about letting you know when they've made some changes to the framework. And the administrator has the choice to, you know, keep these, read through them, or get rid of them. I recommend you keep them for a few times or save them off in case you need to see what's going on. Again, Free Toast Host support's great about letting you know when there's changes. Okay, keep those in close. Let's see. I've got, okay, so make sure we're still good here. Okay, so if you want to get in as admin, you're going to launch the admin console. Okay, and when the admin console comes up, I'm going to actually move this back up here. So away. Gives you lots of things you can do with your website. This first page that it comes on is the basic settings, and you can scroll inside and look at some of the basic settings, your time zone, your time formats, whether or not your website has an alias. If you don't want your club number to show and you'd rather have a short alias for the name of your club, you would enter it here, and that's all you would have to do. We put a couple of keywords in there, and that's basically it. And then for each of these tabs, it gives you a little bit more control on colors, which of those menu bar items you want to see or not to see, the home page, how you want to configure your home page. And let's see if it's going to come up. It's taking its time. Okay. There we go. So as I mentioned earlier in the home page, you know, this main heading is the place where I suggested you add that club number. And then inside the body is where you would add some text or a picture. There's all kinds of information. It explains how to configure these things, or you can leave the basic one in place until you're comfortable modifying that. Again, right inside this framework, Free Toast Host gives you a lot of, see how this more is here? It helps to explain how to do these things. Now we're going to look at the meeting info and directions. So, okay, so ours is a little light. Again, it allows me to put some text in as we looked earlier on it, and it allows you to paste in a Google map. So you would go to Google, you know, locate it, and then copy it in. Again, lots of explanation on how to do that. And here's the tab for social links. This is where if you've got, if your club has a YouTube channel, you would paste it in here, and your club members would be able to get to your YouTube channel from your Free Toast Host website. Floater messages. Again, this is that floater message at the top, like I mentioned on advanced articulators. On electric insurance, we just let you know when the next meeting is here. Access settings. I know I'm whipping through these fast, but you guys can review the recorded video after. I'm sure it'll be great. And again, Free Toast Host support team has all of this there as well. This is a place where you can delegate access to your different officers about how much you want them to be able to do. This is entirely up to the club, how much or how little you want to allow them to do. The tab here, administrator info, again, you want to make sure that this is configured to the administrator. You can choose to set up statistics with Google if you want. That's more techie if you want to get into that later. But when you're first setting up, besides these basic tabs and getting your basics, you know, in place, membership management is a key place where you're going to need to add things. So we're going to go to that membership management tab. And I'm actually going to leave it on this page. So the majority of us have used a corporate email address, and I'm doing it on this corporate clubs as not to breach any privacy. But when you want to add new members to your club, especially in the very beginning, you've got a bunch of them you want to add. There's a couple different ways you can do it. You can use Quick Add, which is actually the simplest way to do it. And you can download your club roster from Toastmasters International and configure it in the manner in which it will load easily into this Quick Add page. So basically, this is just an open space where you're going to put the person's name. Here's the example down here. Person's name, if they have a designation, and then a space, and then you would put their email address, and then a space, and a phone number if they want. Now, the first time that you enter all of your members into this system, and you click Save, you will actually, they won't be able to get into the website. So first of all, they have to approve you adding them to the website. So they're going to get an email that says, somebody's trying to add you to this website. Do you approve? And they'll need to check that off. Now, after they've checked that off, you still need to send them a new member welcome. And when you do this, so your new member welcome is a pre-written email. You don't need to do anything here. It's all pre-written. And all you're going to do is you're going to select the members you want to receive this. Now, when you're doing it for the first time, you'll select all and send it to everybody you put in your list. And then as soon as you do that, so again, I'll go back, I'll go a little slow here. So you go into this drop down, you can check all or you can check one. Now, once you've checked everybody off and you click Save, it'll automatically generate all of those welcome emails to go to your members, okay? Now let's assume that you've got all your members in and they've accepted and they're going to be in there. We'll go back to the members page. And what you're going to need to do is the members that you've got in there, you need to assign some of them as officers so that they have the appropriate access to the website. So basically, you can just go over here to the side. Let's see, I guess I'll look at mine. I'm currently the secretary and immediate past president. But if I wanted to change what my settings are, I can click this drop down and it'll bring up all the options for the officers, okay? Now you can see there's also one for other officers. Sometimes that's where if somebody's not an officer and they're an admin of the website, they may end up there. And as you can see, because I was holding two roles, you could check off two roles, okay? So by setting these members to these officer roles, it actually ties into the website and gives them that appropriate access as well, okay? So that's how to administer membership management. There's so much more to this, but this is the basic. You always want to make sure you save if you've made changes before you close to make sure everything gets in. All right, so I'm going to close membership. And now that we're done with membership, let's have a look at agendas. Agendas are the next biggest thing that is a touch point for all members and admins inside the Free Toast Host website. It's one of the things you just always use. So scroll down, you're going to click on this little caret, come down here, we're going to look at meeting agenda settings. Now, first of all, I like to start in global settings first. So global settings are settings that are going to take effect across every agenda. And, you know, we'll talk about these meeting times when we get to the view of the agendas, but for now, it basically talks about who's going to be notified when there's activity on the agenda. You know, if you've got a VP of education that's very active in making sure that people are achieving their goals in their education program, they may want to be notified on every change. You know, if somebody gets onto that agenda and decides they're not going to be able to make the meeting, they can let you know, they can check the box, but who do you want to know about that? Is it the Toastmaster? Is it anyone else? So this is, again, this is where you can configure it, super simple. Default meeting description. Now, at the top of your agenda, you have a default meeting description that you can customize for your club, or you can take the default. It's entirely up to you. Now I'll go into the agenda templates. Now what's nice about Free Toast Host is they have pre-built many agendas. So let's see if I've don't have any. here right now, but we'll look at, let's just look at our 3-speaker one. So right now, this is our 3-speaker agenda as it's configured. This isn't what it looks like to members, but this is how we've configured it. So, you know, we have our president. So our president always opens the meeting. So we leave her name in there permanently. And then we basically just created entries for all of these. You're going to lay them out in the order in which you want your meeting to execute, okay? And then there's even options, more technical options, to bridge down things that you may do earlier in the meeting, but you don't want somebody to have to sign up twice. For example, evaluator may announce the objectives of a speech, but then do the evaluation down here. You can list them on the agenda, but you don't have to have them sign up twice. So basically, if you want to add something, you come down here and you would click add. I do recommend taking the default to start, and I'm going to have to go back in and show you how to do that. So I'm going to close this. Actually, let me see why I'm not seeing. Oh, okay. These are all the ones we've done. So let me see if I can select a template. No, I guess we've cleared them all out. I may have to try a different site. Okay, sorry about that. Let me close this. So let's go out and at least see what these agendas look like. So now I'm going to go over to the members only section of this website so that you can see what the agenda looks like. So you see I went over to members only, and now I've clicked on agendas. We'll see if it comes up. And there's Alex. So we've got, you know, pictures coming through our agendas as well. We like it. So basically, this is the agenda coming up for our January 23rd meeting. And we have quite a few people. Oh, so here's a good point to make. Currently, I am signed up as, I'm signed in, excuse me, as the admin. Because I'm not signed in as a member at the moment, I can't sign up for a role. So let's watch this change. I'll log in. Okay. Once I log in, oh, now it's going to refresh for me. Okay. And go back into agendas. So now you can see how that changed, see how it allows me to sign up. So interestingly enough, when you're an admin, you can be signed in both as a member and as an admin. So what happens is when I go to sign up, I actually was going to sign up for a speech. So let's do that while I'm here. Okay. This cat signed up for a speech. So for example, I guess I'm already signed up as general evaluator. We'll have to work on that. So I'm going to sign up as speaker number 2. I'm actually trying to finish a CC, but I also want to show you that it has all of the pathways in it as well. So what's interesting here? Let's collapse all. And I can show you all of the speeches that allow you to select from. So first of all, you're going to see each path is listed here. And inside the path, it lists all of your speaking projects that you can select, okay, for every path. And then you still have options to do a non-manual speech or still work in your CC. And again, I'm still working in CC. All of the historical advanced manuals are in here as well. Okay, just wanted to show you those. And the speeches from Successful Club, Better Speaker, and Leadership Series. So they've done a lot of work to make sure all of your options are in here. Okay. I'm going to go into Communicator. I believe it's speech number 7. So what you can do is after you've selected your speech, you can enter your speech title. Now I'm just going to do XYZ, okay? And then you can even put your introduction in. And the great thing about putting your introduction in here is that your Toastmaster can print them off and have them ready for the meeting. And then you can, if you make changes, you can update it here. Now, for educational purposes, I'm actually going to go back and show you what it's like to choose a Pathways speech, because it is a little bit different. So I'm going to go into leadership development, which is a path I'm working in. And I will select, let's do researching and presenting. I've actually already done this. But one of the things I want to point out is that when I selected a Pathways path type speech, I can click here and get the project description. Takes a minute to come out. Okay. See, it gives me the basics for my project, what I'm working on. Go back. Fortunately, I think I have to close this and go back. 1 second. Okay, back to my agenda. I have to click on it. A little clunky how they pop up. But the other thing that's really good is on this speech, let me move this up a little bit. On this speech that I've selected, let's say I'm new to Pathways and still trying to figure this out. I don't know which evaluation form this is. Guess what? They gave it to you. You click on that, it's going to bring up that evaluation form, and you can print it and bring it with you. It's just made it really easy for you to get the right evaluation form, because I'm hearing from members that sometimes it's hard to figure out which one, but this will do it. All right, so there's the basics on the experience for the member sign up. Now, we have a few agendas in the future. So we've chosen to preload a bunch of these agendas so our members can click on a future one and sign up. If I wanted to make a new one, I could click here and it would let me create a new agenda. Because I'm signed in as administrator, only certain people are allowed to create an agenda. That's a restricted criteria. And in here, this is why I came here, is because this is where Toastmasters will show you their base templates. So here are all our custom templates for electric insurance. And here are the system templates that Free Toast gives you to start with. So you can start with a 1 hour meeting that has 3 speakers, 1 hour meeting that has 2. I can even select from a historical one and create a new agenda from that. So again, when I first started doing these websites, they didn't have all of this. You were kind of creating it from scratch, but now they let you start from something, which makes it super easy. So you would click that and create it and then save it with a new name. Just your meeting start times and just about everything else that's in there. So I'm going to close this because I'm not going to create a new one. And that's super basic on agendas, but you can see that it really makes it accessible. And I'll run through very quickly in the members only side. So members only have a little bit more to get their hands on. You know, they can look at the meeting agendas. This quick role sign up is something brand new to Free Toast, makes it even easier to jump in and sign up for a role. Somebody, you know, you can request a mentor. You can look up fellow club email addresses if your fellow member wanted to be public. You can edit your own profile. You can look up and see, you know, we've put something in there that explains meeting roles if someone's new. We can look at our award history, our club performance report. You know, these are add-ins that I've given here, and if you're interested in those, just contact me at Christine@district31.org, and if you're really getting into your website, I could show you how to do those. And then, again, if you're admin and you're getting stuck, this is where you can go to website support documents and to the forum. Okay? We're not doing this. Okay, so just ran through a whole bunch of stuff for you. I'm going to jump back to our presentation and make sure that we've got through everything we said we'd go through. Okay. Oops. Well, if I could get to the right one. There we go. Okay. We reviewed meeting time and location, adding members, assigning officer roles, creating an agenda, inviting your members to the site. Now, the update to Toastmasters International, I'm just going to state it there. I'm not going to go back through that. Now, Anthony wanted me to make sure I told you. So, Free Toast is not your only option, okay? Easy Speak is also another option for Toastmasters and for clubs to build out a website. I can't speak to Easy Speak. I haven't developed in it, but Anthony has, and he has a webinar coming up actually in February. So if you wanted to have a look at how Easy Speak is configured and what it looks like from a club website standpoint, absolutely have a look. There's no one right way to do this. Everyone has a different, perspective on how they want their website to look. From my general understanding is that Easy Speak allows you to do more web customizations to that website than the framework for Free Toast Toast. So have a look. I know Anthony's excited about giving you that webinar. And quick thank you for attending. I do want to put a disclaimer, because once we're done with this webinar, it'll go up on the District 31 site, and it'll be there a long time. I want to say that the Free Toast Toast support team is constantly making new developments in the framework for the clubs, and this is a point in time. So as of 1/17/19, this is how it works. I've provided the 3 support and demo links, so easier for you to find them later. And help to get you started, please reach out. I do invite you to go tour the world of Free Toast Toast websites. Go to find a club, pick a country, see if you can find a Free Toast Toast website. You'll basically be able to see them pretty easily, and you'll just see how creative so many clubs have gotten with Free Toast Toast. I know I visited a club, I wish I had it handy, but they were in Poland, and they had made a video, and they were singing and dancing, and it was just so much fun as an introduction to their club to have a look at that. So this concludes my introduction. I probably went a little deeper than some of you wanted, but have a look. See if Free Toast Toast website is something that you'd like. As a corporate club, we had started out with an internal website. We're using spreadsheets to manage everything, and eventually we decided we wanted to go with Free Toast Toast and found we could lock it down enough to be comfortable for the company. So I wish you well in your journeys, and have a great day.